Welcome to Popcorned Planet. I am Andy Signore, and we have breaking news. Prince Andrew has settled his case with Virginia Giuffre. I have Steph, the alternate, to react. And Steph, I'm just in shock. I'm in shock, and I wanted to get you here as we broke this news as it was happening because I'm just floored. Virginia said she wasn't going to settle. We have I have the article right here of her quotes. She was unlikely to accept any purely financial statement. As we're getting details, it does seem like not only did she get an undisclosed amount of money, but there are some terms here that she agreed to. And I guess let me go through these quickly. And I want to get straight to your thoughts because I know you're as sort of frustrated as I am. They've reached a settlement in principle, meaning that they've agreed to terms. As long as this all happens, it's gonna go through in a document that was released today. Duke will make a substantial donation to Miss Giuffre's charity in support of victims' rights, the court documents revealed. Andrew has also pledged to demonstrate his regret for his association with Giuffre by supporting the fight against the evils of, you know, what Giuffre was accused of, and by supporting its victims. A document submitted to U.S. court said Virginia and the Prince have reached a out-of-court settlement. Parties will file for a stipulated dismissal upon her receipt of the settlement, the sum of which is not being disclosed, of course. Andrew intends to make a substantial donation to her charity in support of rights, you know, by the victims. And Andrew has never intended to malign her character, and he accepts that she has suffered both as an established victim of ABUSC and results of unfair public attacks. It is known that Giuffre, you know, did what he did, and Andrew regrets his association with him and commends the bravery of Virginia and others in standing up for themselves. And others. He pledges to demonstrate his regret for his association with Giuffre by supporting the fight against the evils of what's here. I got to be careful on the. Sorry, you guys can read it there. I have to be careful on my words. So that's, I guess, what she's justifying is why it wasn't strictly financial. Is she got some quote by Andrew as if that's going to solve the problem here, Steph. Look, I'm floored, man. This is a frustrating thing. She went out there and said she wasn't going to accept money. This was such an important case to prove. She doesn't need the money. And for her to now take an undisclosed amount of money, not even be transparent about that or where it's going or what to end this fight now. What are your thoughts on this? Does this make you as angry as it makes me?
I'm livid. Because she turns around and she says, I will never accept a settlement. I want to burn him. I want to run him to the ground. I am doing this on behalf of others that have suffered like me, but don't have the means, the money, or the capability to be able to take down their monsters. So I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing it for the rest of the community that, quote unquote, she's apparently a part of, allegedly, who knows, right? And so, where's that sentiment gone? The end of the day, as far as I'm concerned at this point, I'm livid because by her saying that and then going back on herself and accepting this settlement, she has used our community, the people that have suffered from these kinds of monsters, as pawns and nothing else. That she never had any strong regard, any belief in actually fighting for us, which she said herself she was doing. No. In the end, as far as I'm concerned, my opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, it's all about the money. Even when she then turned round, even after that, and said, I would settle, but under extreme circumstances. She turns around and she said somewhat along the lines of, you know, he would still have to admit what he did, this, that, and the other, right? So that there was no coming back from it. He would be absolutely destroyed one way or another, either through settlement or through court. Well, A, she's taken this settlement and, as far as I'm concerned, spat on our community of people that have actually suffered from the monsters, using us as pawns. And B, this settlement in particular anyway, I'm sorry, but there is nowhere in that settlement that's been released in terms of the details of it where Andy, again, gotta be careful with what we say here, but you know who I'm talking about here.
Not me.
Not Popcorned Planet Andy. Royal Andy, let's call him Royal Andy, where Royal Andy is burned to a crisp and can never return. Because all he has to do is basically turn around and say, I regret my association with Effie. I'm making an undisclosed account to charity, which, by the way, he could write off. Tax-wise, potentially. And that's it. And that's it. That's it. No accountability whatsoever in that settlement does he have to make other than, I regret my association with Effie, which, to be fair, naturally he should have done anyway all along. But no. She don't hang his feet to fire at all. It's like all of a sudden settlement on table, cut and run.
Well, and it's
Excuse you?
It opens up so many questions now, too, because it's like around the same time, there was this headline. I don't know if you saw this, but she lost the original photo, right? So, look, was she telling the truth is now what's going to come forward in this. And the fact of the matter is, like, I think there's a lot against Prince Andrew due to his own gaffes in his interviews, et cetera, in relationship. And now the reality is, like, well, what's true and what's not? Now you just let this guy get away with horrible things that you accused him of. So are you a liar? It's like, it's so much more complicated now that so many people had her back. And if she had taken this all the way to court and lost, that's one thing, right? Then we would be able to deduce, like, based on the trial and what we learned in the trial, who was, who we think is telling the truth or not. But in this instance, it's really hard not to see this as her accepting the settlement. Like, of course, he was rushing to accept the settlement. Why? Who does that, Steph? If I'm accused of such things, I promise you, I will be like, take it all the way. I do not want to ever be associated with, I settled this craziness. Now, there are obviously reasons people settle. I understand. I settled because the company I was fighting was no longer in existence. And so I had to fight the people that were in charge, and it was a much harder fight at that point. And what was most important to me was to be able to have the freedom to express my innocence, right, and share the things. And so that was more important to me. I don't feel like there's anything from here that warrants this settlement, her getting more money for her own charity. Like, sorry, like, not even like an established charity, like her charity. Okay, so now she's got money for her future job to just do, as what? That frustrates me. And then, I got Andrew to condemn him. I mean, he's already sort of done that. What does this prove? You're basically trying to be like, yes, he's guilty, but I got him to admit it. But I'm going to take a lot of money. Bye, guys. Good luck, everybody else. It really bothers me. Now, look, there's other theories here that I don't want to make sure now we have to comprehend. One, maybe she's not telling the truth. Maybe she wasn't telling the truth, and now that is going to cause doubt on the whole case, sadly. And now maybe we were wrong. Who knows? And that's obviously going to be what happens. But then there's another theory, Steph, and as I was talking in the chat room in our Telegram group, could she have been pressured to do this? Like, the royal family wants this shut down. And I'm not saying they did it necessarily, but Prince Andrew needs this to get shut down. There have been a lot of people who have been shut down because of the seriousness of this case. Is there something here where maybe she was pressured? And part of me thinks, I don't know, like, the things that she got Andrew to do are clearly gives. Like, Andrew clearly didn't want to have to say those statements, correct? Do you agree? Like, in deducing the statements he had to make, even though I don't think they're going to help matters. Do you think Andrew was like, fine, yeah, I'm happy to do that, to publicly condemn him and stand by? Because he's been disparaging her from day one. She's a liar, and now he's coming out and saying, yeah, no, she's we believe her, but just not with me. Do you believe he wanted to make those statements?
Not necessarily, but it's better than what she purported to say that she wanted him to admit as part of a settlement. He's got off lightly in terms of what he's been forced to say overall. I mean, the overriding kind of unique circumstance out of all of this is that he's part of the royal family in the UK, and we've got the Queen, Her Royal Highness's Platinum Jubilee this year that's already started. So with that being said, with this trial that was set in September, this case was going to completely overshadow all of that. So was there a pressure for this to be settled just based on that? Hell yeah, because you're talking about the head of state, the Queen herself, you can imagine not wanting this to overshadow her Platinum Jubilee. So could that have then transferred over to VG? Potentially, yes. But at the end of the day, comes back to this. My opinion, she used our community of people that have suffered from these kind of monsters as bloody pawns. Pawns and nothing else. That she didn't think of us in high regard in the first place. That she didn't think of us sympathetically or compassionately. She just saw us as a way of a chess move and nothing more than that. And just used us for her own gain, as far as I'm concerned, to get money. Now, and that's it. Just more money. Because whether it's paid to a charity or paid to herself, it's her charity. She's got the money. It's just it's put in a charity I only can imagine as a freaking tax write-off for her as well. Because people with money know how to not pay tax.
Fact, and it just gives her more. She can employ herself through her own charity. You know, I got a comment from Christopher, our lawyer, Christopher Melcher, because I wanted to get his thoughts as he saw this headline brewing too. His comment: it must have been too much money for Virginia and her lawyers to turn down. It serves her interest to receive the settlement, but allows Andrew to avoid accountability. He admits no misconduct other than his regrets for associating with Epstein, and does nothing to protect others from facing similar things. I mean, that's his take, and that's my take too. It must have been a ton of money. But then my reaction to that is, okay, if he was willing to pay a ton of money, I believe her more. You know what I mean? Why would he pay so much money if he didn't feel like there was dirt there, that, you know, there was something that stunk that he was about to get in deep doo-doo for, right? He wanted to go away, but in order to pay that much money, to me, I'm like, you know, I don't know. You don't just pay it away if you feel like this is complete nonsense. There was something going on there that he doesn't want exposed if you're going to offer that much money. You disagree?
I'm kind of on the fence with this one now because she's bloody well accepted the settlement at the end of the day. So now I actually do doubt her chain of events and her allegations, as far as I'm concerned. Now, is Royal Andy completely in the clear, completely innocent? I really don't think that. The severity, though, of his guiltness, that's now in question in regards to my mind. Again, you've got the unique circumstances, like overruling all of this, which is Her Royal Majesty, the Queen. It's her Diamond Jubilee. There was this big, massive pressure from the royal family, from the Queen, from the royal courtiers to Prince Andrew to settle no matter what. Whether he was innocent or not, they wanted him to settle. They wanted him to throw money at this so that this case could completely stop in its tracks and it would not overshadow Her Royal Highness's, the Queen's, Diamond Jubilee. Platinum Jubilee, apologies. And with that being said, not overshadow the rest of the royal family. So Prince Charles, Camilla, Prince William, Duchess Kate.
Yeah, all of this only...
The players didn't want to be overshadowed by all of this either. So in regards to this, you can't treat it as a normal situation where, hang on a minute, you know, he's settled. Hey, up here. No. There's outside forces as well that regardless if he was innocent or not, big major pressure for him to settle in the first place. Big major pressure, mate.
Yeah, I disagree. To me, all of that is just exactly why he wants to settle at all costs. Sure. This move looks great for Andrew. I think this move is terrible for Virginia. This is a terrible move for her. Now, she might have made $1 billion for all we know, in which case she's like, whatever, see you guys, I'm gonna go buy an island and leave my own island and do whatever I want there. Maybe, but that to me is what the intent now looks. And these little gives she got don't help anybody else who went through this horror story is what's really so terrifying. But again, yes, I understand there's pressures from everyone over there. I don't know if we're really talking the amount of money he's just literally offering her to make it go away. You don't do that unless you're nervous. I don't care whether it's the Royals, whether it's him. Something's clearly off. So but I'm curious what you guys at home think. We're going to definitely talk more about this today on our live show, along with a lot more. Plus, Kanye went nuts, and now Kim's fighting back. We got so much more to talk about today, so make sure you don't miss that. We're live every day around 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts, and smash that like button if you want to get in the conversation. In the meanwhile, what do you think of this? Are you surprised? Does this make her look more or less guilty? I want to know what your thoughts. Him more or less guilty. Whose side are you on? Are you mad at her? Are you mad at him? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Make sure you also support Steph the Alternate on YouTube. Go Google her. I'd love to have you back, Steph, so we can break this down in more detail, because this is a frustrating one. This is going to make a lot of people angry. We will be here to cover it more, so stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for watching here on Popcorn Planet.